Hello everybody, this is another tutorial from Lord Tack. Today I was going to show you how to make an advanced nuclear reactor using ice, with this kind of setup right here, involving automatic crafting tables, build craft pipes, build craft engines, a chest for each table, and of course, 2 philosopher stones. It's not very hard at all, but unfortunately, since Technic Pack 6, they don't work anymore. And real quick, I'm going to explain why they don't work anymore. So, let's just have a look inside after I finish bobbing my head for some stupid reason. As you can see, the coal's in there, and it should work. But the new release of Equivalent Exchange has altered the Philosopher's Stone and added 2 new items that do the Philosopher's Stone's job. And they don't work unless you already have the item you're looking for. For example, let's try some coal. So there's 8 coal in there, and I'm getting nothing. No wood, no dirt, nothing. So, coal doesn't work. Let's try some diamonds. 8 diamonds should give us something, right? Still nothing. Which is very aggravating to say the least. And it's the same result with the table version as well. So, unfortunately, you already need the item you're looking for. So, let's try to make some charcoal. Toss some coal in there. And it worked that time. We actually got charcoal. Let's see if it'll work again. No. Nothing. Still nothing. Still nothing. And that's because the Philosopher's Stone in the chest is now undamaged. And the one in the table is. Making them different items as far as the table is concerned, which breaks the whole operation. So, I guess you understand that now. Let's move on. Now, over here, we have our basic cobblestone generator. It's not my design. I found it on YouTube one day, and I thought it was just great for what I was doing. I don't remember who came up with it, but it works. But really, any kind of cobblestone generator that's automatic will work for what we're trying to do. And that's the clock setup right up there. And the crafting tables. I'll explain why those are there in a minute. Yep, that's right folks. We're using thaumcraft to make our ice. Equivalent Exchange won't give it to us anymore. Buildcraft doesn't make ice, and as far as I know, Industrial Craft won't do it either. So we're going to use this handy block right down here down the line, which will duplicate any item placed in it and make us a ton of ice. Unfortunately, it requires quite a lot of thaum, or viz, as some people like to call it. And right down here in this chest is all of our ice. So, as you can see, it does work, but it's quite slow. So, now, I'm sure by now you've noticed I'm pumping furnaces into the crucible. And that is because, let me go over here. If you tried to pump all this cobble into the crucible at once, it wouldn't be able to melt it all down fast enough. And it would overflow easily, which would slow everything down a lot. So we're using these crafting tables right down here to convert the cobble into furnaces before it's pumped out, which will speed everything up, if only just a little. Now, furnaces aren't the best fuel, but they work for cobble. They're a good substitute. Which is where Equivalent Exchange comes in. Using collectors, you can make pretty much any type of fuel you need. I would recommend setting up collectors early so they can gain EMC, which, thankfully, they store EMC now. That's actually very cool. So if you don't happen to have anything on you to turn into fuel, they'll just store up the EMC and you can use it later. Now, the best fuel I can recommend is blaze powder, or gunpowder. Because in thaumcraft, blaze and gunpowder are worth a lot compared to how much it takes to produce them, as well as their EMC values in equivalent exchange. Now, as you've already seen, if you have EMC stored up, you can convert any fuel on hand to the target fuel instantly. Now, let me just finish draining all this blaze powder out of these, and I'll demonstrate that. I think that's all of it. Man, that was a lot of blaze powder, wasn't it? Yeah, that's all of it. Don't be fooled though, having extra EMC is only temporary, because blaze powder does take quite a lot to make. Now, I don't think I have any coal on me. No, I don't have any coal on me. Let me grab some real quick. Yes, I'm cheating with NEI. It's just to make things a little bit easier. Now, as you can see, we've already run out of stored EMC, and it takes a long time to make blaze powder, especially from coal. Which probably isn't the fuel you want to use to convert into blaze powder. Yeah, it takes a long time. Now, let me show you some of the other fuels you can use. Thought I forgot something. First is cobble. All of these are 64 stacks apiece, by the way. And cobble is not very much. It's one line for 64 bits of cobble. That is very, very low. Second is stone, which is only slightly more. I think it's about double what cobble is. Yeah, it looks about double. Third is coal, which is about double stone. Yeah, it's right there. Fourth is gunpowder, which is quite a bit. It's just after coal in the collector. It seems like a lot more, doesn't it? Fifth is glowstone dust, which is also in the collector. It's right after gunpowder. And it's actually less. So keep that in mind when you're leveling up. Sixth is blaze powder, which is almost the same as glowstone dust, except it's a little bit more. Well, actually, it's a lot more. It's a lot more. And I think it's the next one up from glowstone dust. Seventh is the glowstone block, which is roughly 4 times as much as glowstone dust, which is kind of annoying considering it takes so much longer to make. And it's still just exactly 4 glowstone dust apiece. Eighth is cactus, which is what I had going on over there with all those plants and everything. I was experimenting with the farming boxes available in Technic Pack 6 as well. And it's almost exactly equal to coal. 64 cactus is 64 coal. Yeah, just about. Ninth is sugarcane, which is worth quite a bit for its rarity. 10th is pumpkin, which is rather disappointing. It's only worth slightly more than sugarcane. Actually, it's the same, I think. 11th is melon slices, which is worth so little it's infuriating. Think about how hard it is to get a melon slice. This is 64 melon slices. It's worth about the same amount of stone. And this is 12th is melon blocks, which is a lot less when you think about it, because surely 8 times 64 is a lot more than that. And finally, we have the best fuels. The first one is incandescent nitor, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 crucibles worth of fuel. That's a lot. And also, making it cost less than what it gives as fuel. The next one is glittering nitor, which is just about 8 crucibles full, I think. 15th, and finally, is glimmering nitor, which is only 4. That's nothing. And keep in mind that all you have to do is re-infuse the nitor again and again and again, and you level up more. And finally, we have Viz crystals. This is just a comparison to regular old Viz crystals, which are actually a little bit rare by themselves. It takes a while to get a Viz crystal, and this is 64 of them. So, I feel like that's a good comparison, since it is the mod's basic fuel. Anyway, that's all the fuels available. Be careful, some fuels from Equivalent Exchange do not work in crucibles. I would label them, but I can't exactly remember their names. And I would also like to mention, if you have the ability, it's probably best to use incandescent nitor. But you have to remember that the process isn't automatic, and it cannot be automated as far as I know. Which is why I suggest using blaze powder and gunpowder, which can be automated. Anyway, as soon as you figure out what you want to use, just rig some pipes to your crucible and start duplicating. It's just as simple as that. Dump it in the crucible, make some viz, and start duplicating. It's also worth noting that I have no idea how you're going to get that first ice block. Since you have to have the block that you're trying to get when you use the Philosopher's Stone or the amulet, it's going to be pretty darn hard to get your first ice block. After you get it, you're good. You'll be able to duplicate it, but, I mean, that duplicator cannot actually produce any blocks that you don't already have. Same for the amulet, same for the Philosopher's Stone. But there's some good news. There is actually a way to get an ice block through these mods. It's gonna take you a while, but you can use the 0 ring with a bucket of water in the crafting table, and it will make you a placeable ice block. It takes 2 dark matter, but at least you'll have your ice. Also, all 4 of these collectors are level 3, and yeah, that last one's 3, and it's still working. Awesome. Well, after you're done with that, just hook up your chest to your reactor, and you're good to go. I'll do another tutorial explaining how to do that, because there's a specific way you gotta do it, and I don't know if it works anymore. Well, that's all the time I have for now. I hope this tutorial helped you guys out. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. See you later. Still have time? Oh, yeah. See you later.